What's going on, guys? It's Danny from Slow Restoration, and we're in the 2024 GMC 3500 HD Denali Ultimate. And as you can see there, we do now have a little over 5,000 miles, so 5,300 miles. So I would pretty much consider that broken in. As far as fuel mileage, we're in the Florida Keys, driving back home now. As you can see, we have a ways to go yet, almost 1,250 miles. And perfect time to do a fuel mileage calculation and test. Obviously, I drove the truck down too and got really good mileage on the way down. So to start out, let's scroll down here. We'll scroll down and see. So this is my drive summary. I've been driving for an hour and 13 minutes, an average of 17.8 miles per gallon so far. But like I said, that was a lot of stop and go and slower driving. And we scroll down more. So this screen here, every time your drive summary, every time you stop, shut the truck off, it'll reset. So we scroll down again. This is trip 1, trip 2, and the timer. So we'll go back to trip 2, and I'm actually going to reset that. Yes. So that's completely reset. We'll start from right here, and about 1,243 miles it looks like we're gonna have on it, roughly, give or take. And we'll let that just do its calculations, and we're gonna leave this one alone, trip 1. And that's overall average since the truck, I guess pretty much since it was new. Yeah, 5,356 miles. But again, that's a lot of idle time and very slow driving, so that's not the most accurate. Trip 2 is going to be more accurate, especially for this trip. So again, this truck is a 2024 Sierra Denali Ultimate Crew Cab Short Bed, and it is a 3500 Duramax diesel, so it's the L5P Series 2 10-speed Allison automatic. So far this truck's completely stock, haven't did anything to it as far as performance or anything like that. Stock tires, stock wheels, everything about that, stock exhaust, stock air intake. Not a whole lot available for these trucks yet. Just over 11 miles into the trip here, the fuel mileage trip calculation, and the computer's saying we're 23.3 mile per gallon, and it's really good so far. It's not had really any traffic to speak of, and we're cruising right along. It dropped down to 45 mile an hour for just a small bit, but then right back up to 55 mile an hour. So I do use probably 95% of this trip here. I'll be using the adaptive cruise control. It works really good in this truck. I don't know if you can see the heads-up display there, but we're set at 55 mile an hour, and because we caught up to this truck, you can adjust the following distance, and we're only running 51 mile an hour. But as soon as he speeds up and or we turn our signal on to go past, it'll speed right back up to our set speed. So there's no more like hitting your brake and resetting. The truck just does it by itself, and you can tap up and down if you need to increase or decrease speed. It will following, and you know, someone pulls out in front of you, it will brake. It doesn't steer itself, but it will brake and adjust speed as needed. Did hit some construction here. As you can see, we've driven 40 miles and averaging 24 miles a gallon, so really good there. 50 miles into the drive here, we got through that construction and it dropped a little bit. We're at 23.4, and our mile per hour average dropped a little bit too. But if you're familiar with this drive, we're exiting the Keys now. We're on our way out, as you can tell by these green aqua colored barriers on the side of the road here. Just got our low fuel light on, so it's time to start looking for fuel. 77 miles range still. but we've gone 285 miles on that, and it did drop to 21.6 mile per gallon. We did hit some traffic and some different driving conditions that weren't ideal. All right, we got it filled up here, so clicked off at 33 gallons and clicked off. I hit it, topped it off, so that's where we stopped. So 33 gallons, we'll record that. All right, we'll go ahead and start the truck here. And so our range now is 726 miles. That's really, really good. So what we're gonna do is go back to trip 1 and we're gonna reset that.
In 300 feet, turn right onto Florida 404 West, Pineda Causeway Extension.
So we'll reset that, and we still have our trip 2, which is gonna be overall trip. Trip 1 is gonna be this tank. And we're at 5,645 miles, so we'll record that down and the 33.07 gallons it took to fill it up, and the next fill up we can do our math. See how accurate this is going to be here. All right, we're at this giant gas station. You might recognize that one, but we've been driving. We put some miles on. We put 773 miles on this trip, and this tank, wrong way, 483 miles to this tank of fuel. It's saying 19.5 mile per gallon on this tank of fuel, and trip 2 overall average on this trip is 20.2 as it stands. I think we can go down and see. Yeah, so my best is 25.2 and the average is 19.3 overall lifetime of the truck. I've never reset that. So let's go back up. So this is our tank of fuel. Trip 1 was the fresh tank of fuel, so we're gonna go ahead and fill it up now. I still have 217 mile range, but since we're here at the gas station taking a little bit of a break, we're gonna go ahead and fill up, and then we'll do the math and see how close to 19.5 we get as we fill it up. So we just topped that off and we got 25.39, so 25.4 gallons. So if we do our math there, let me get in the light here. So there's where we started miles wise, there's where we ended miles wise. That's what it took to fill it back up. That's kind of irrelevant. That's just what it took to fill it up first time. But you take 6,129 miles minus 5,645 miles. That's 484 miles we've driven, and divide that by 25.4 it took to fill it back up, and we get 19.05. so the truck's a little bit generous at 19.5, but again, it's pretty close. All right, we're back home now. So trip 1 was the first time I fueled up, ran that tank out or close to out, fueled up for the second time, and we have 973 miles on that. You got an average of 20.3 mile per gallon and 65.5 mile per hour according to the truck. So we scroll down to trip 2, we have 1,262 miles on this trip, an average of 20.5 and an average of 63.9 mile per hour. So we were cruising pretty good.